Many of you guys know that Mr. Fantastic is considered to be one of the worst DPSs in the game, according to the Rivals community, to which I say no. Actually, Mr. Fantastic is actually really underrated in Marvel Rivals, mainly due to his tankiness, his ability to brawl against other DPSs, and his mobility, his utility. Like, everything about Mr. Fantastic is really good, but the only thing that makes him not so good would be his ultimate, but I'll talk about his ultimate later on to the video. Right now, let's talk about the stuff that what he excels in. So Mr. Fantastic excels in being a tank, like being an off tank, getting bonus health. So how you get bonus health is you could either use your E ability, which latches onto either enemy or an ally. So when you latch onto an enemy, it actually damages them slightly, and you gain a 75 bonus health. And then when you latch onto an ally, it gives them 75 shield as well. And you could actually stack the shields onto an ally too. So they could get a maximum of 150. Yeah, you could actually stack the E ability to 150 bonus health to an ally and to yourself. Another way to get bonus health that Mr. Fantastic can do is to reach big form. And it's gonna give him 400 bonus health. And again, like his latch ability, you could stack, right? You could stack these abilities to get even more bonus health with a total of 950 HP. So that's why Mr. Fantastic is pretty good at being an off tank. I would like to also note that if you try to solo Mr. Fantastic as a main tank, you're not gonna you're gonna have a hard time. Like, I'm not saying it's impossible. It's just that because you only have bonus health, you don't like, healers can't really heal the bonus health, and it goes away pretty fast. Especially if you're getting damaged. So just to let you guys know that it's always best to play Mr. Fantastic with at least a tank, at least one tank. If your team has 2 tanks, that's actually better for Mr. Fantastic, I think. Because with Mr. Fantastic, you don't have to worry as much as like losing your bonus health as fast. With 2 tanks, you could certainly brawl a lot more. With just 1 tank, you just gotta be careful on keeping check on your bonus health. Another layer of tankiness, after you get out of big form, you can enter into a shift ability, which is, I believe, Reflexive Rubber. I think this is called his Pop-Tart stance. I think that a lot of people call this move like his Pop-Tart stance, because he looks like a Pop-Tart. But basically, in this stance, he is basically immune to any damage and reflects back that damage with a maximum of only 200 damage. 200 damage? Yes, 200 damage. So you have 300. So you have 300 hit points with the shift ability. And if the enemy shoots all 300, then you're gonna deal a maximum of 200 damage. However, a little fun fact about his shift ability, right? The starting animation before it hits 300, and then the ending animation after 300, the 300 disappears. You're absolutely immune to any incoming damage. So what this means is you can potentially tank up to more than 300 plus damage, right? And that's really good because with his shift ability, let's say there's a Punisher, right? And he activates ult. You punch him once, activate shift ability. The Punisher will just keep on shooting at you, and then once he keeps shooting at you, you could reflect back into the Punisher, and then the Punisher will die. That's basically almost an instant kill. It's not really an instant kill because you have to like damage first with the punch, but it's pretty much an instant kill if the Punisher doesn't get like healed. So obviously when people say Mr. Fantastic does no damage, right? They're mainly talking about single target. Cause look how slow it takes for me to kill like one person, right? Some people say that you gotta animation cancel, E, right? Get into big form as soon as possible, and then you could do more damage, right? But even then, it's still kind of lackluster, right? But the idea of using his left click in both normal form and big form is so that you can use it on multiple people. Obviously, single target, it's not going to do a lot of damage. But if you're targeting like groups of people, let's say, you know, 1, 2, and then there's like... Let me go here. There's actually a better area over here. Alright. So, yeah, single target, right? Super slow, super slow. But hey, damage is damage. Against multiple people, right? There's like a lingering effect. And then this also applies to his big form. Oh, pro tip, when you enter big form, notice how you don't have that much range. If you're not gonna reach them and they keep running away, just exit out of big form at that moment, because you're more likely gonna finish them off in normal form than in big form if they keep running away. You constantly want to get into big form and getting out of big form, depending on the situation. If you need to use your abilities, get out of big form. If you just want to do more damage, get into big form. It's pretty simple. So we already talked about the pros of Mr. Fantastic, and we could finally talk about his con. And this con is really, really huge on why Mr. Fantastic is not the best DPS according to people, and that is his ultimate, Brainiac Bounce. Yeah, this ultimate is kind of butt booty cheeks, right? It doesn't even one shot. Technically, in theory, it one shot. If you can kill like squishies with it, but the DPS in this game, or with this guy, it's really bad. You could literally out heal Mr. Fantastic's ultimate ability if you just heal the supports with each other. The main issue is that you rarely gonna see kills with his ult, and then with his ult, it only bounces 3 times. However, if the third hit connects, you could hit the enemy more, up to a number of 6 bounces total. So keep that in mind. So that's one of the reasons why people say Mr. Fantastic kind of sucks, and I kind of agree. His ult is kind of lackluster. If you're in a small room, if you guys know, you could do more. The DPS becomes a lot better, but because you're in a small room, you're also kind of prone to getting shot easier. Getting shot easier, because with Fantastic ult, right? If you're in a big room, it's gonna be harder for them to like trace you down, like not chase you down, but track you. It's gonna be harder to track you because you're going up and down pretty high. But if you're in a small room, it's easy to track Mr. Fantastic, and that can potentially lead to your death even if you do enter big form. So keep that in mind if you see a small room and you're like the only person there to ult, right? So it's what do you call it? Just keep that in mind. Even though it's not the greatest, it's still usable. Sure, the damage is nice, but you mainly want to use this ult as a means to start team fights. I think what makes this ult usable is the fact that every time you bounce, it slows down the enemy. So it's like Widow ult. I think honestly it might be a little bit better than Widow ult, because unlike Widow ult, if you don't have Hawkeye, you're not going to be doing a lot of damage with Widow ult. But with Mr. Fantastic, he slows, he does like big bursts of damage, making it easier for your team to take elims faster. And yeah, I think that's what the devs had in mind with this ult, is you have to use it as a way to engage the enemy, or you can either engage or you could use it to bait out support ults. So even though you can potentially out heal Mr. Fantastic, if Mr. Fantastic's team is helping him peel off of his damage, right? If they're like, you know, shooting down, if they're focusing on the enemy, the supports have no choice but to pop their support ult. And when they do pop the support ult, that's already a huge value for Mr. Fantastic. Because Mr. Fantastic's ult, not only is it not the greatest ult, but you can also charge it pretty fast as well. He also has his right click. This move is really good. You know why? You know why this move is good? It's a displacement tool that gives you elasticity too as well. So you could displace supports, you could displace an enemy tank with your right click, you could displace both two people at the same time. There's some niches where you can grab both of them, but you mainly want to just focus on one person. And then, yeah. Oh, fun fact, another cool thing about Mr. Fantastic before I end the video about his right click. Yeah, you see those little black spots there? Yeah, it slows the enemy. So if you choose not to grab the person, you can just what do you call it? You could just slow them down a little bit. I don't really know any uses of, like, any practical uses of it, right? I'm sure there is some use to it. I just what do you call it? It's just a little fun thing to know about Mr. Fantastic. I think that's pretty much it about the video. If you guys like to see more stuff about Mr. Fantastic, please let me know. More about Mr. Fantastic. I'm sorry. If you guys like this video and you guys want to see more Rivals content, please hit the subscribe button or like the video, leave a comment, etc, etc. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. And hopefully I'll see you guys in the next video.